Sports is a common denominator that rebuilds nations, unites people, and has also been used as soft power to influence politics and ignite nationalistic fervor. Gone are the days when sports bodies were wedded to keeping politics out at all costs. In fact, sports and politics are intertwined akin to Siamese twins, inseparably linked at the hip. Since the start of Russia's special military operation in Ukraine in 2022, a boycott campaign against Russia by the West has led numerous supporting bodies to ban or restrict Russian athletes from various competitions worldwide. This was accompanied by an officially endorsed surge of support for Ukraine. Compare this with Israel's brutal ongoing war on Palestine's Gaza, which is in its 5th month now. People are calling for the same actions to be taken against Tel Aviv, but neither the European nor the global governing bodies of football, UEFA and FIFA, have batted an eyelid. Their silence when it comes to responding to Israel's onslaught on Gaza reeks of double standards. In the early days of the Russia-Ukraine war, Russian clubs and national teams were suspended from all football competitions by FIFA and UEFA. Football jerseys were changed as Russian sponsorship deals were cancelled, and games were preceded with a moment of silence for Ukrainian victims. Months later, when UEFA decided to lift its ban on Russian players under 18, several European countries threatened to boycott the games, pressuring UEFA to reinstate the original ban. FIFA has been very vocal in condemning Russia's incursion into Ukraine, but has not once criticized Israel and its military for killing thousands of civilians, for destroying sports and football facilities in Palestine, or for arresting Palestinian football players. Remember when Israeli forces stripped dozens of Palestinians down to their underwear and lined them up in a football stadium in besieged Gaza? The image sparked massive outrage, yet FIFA remained silent. When the Palestinian Football Association released the report revealing that at least 85 Palestinian athletes were killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza and the occupied West Bank between October 7 and December 6, FIFA remained silent. When Israeli forces killed Mohammed Hattab, an international assistant football referee in Gaza, along with his family, FIFA remained silent. Following this, although the Palestinian Football Association called on the International Olympic Committee, FIFA and all other sports bodies to take an urgent stance on Israel's grave violations of human rights and subject it to legal accountability measures, FIFA remained silent. But is FIFA the only sports body that's been mute? In 2023, the IOC suspended Russia for breaching the Olympic Charter, a book of rules and principles for international sports bodies, after incorporating Russian sports councils in 4 illegally annexed regions in eastern Ukraine. The IOC has allowed only a handful of Russian and Belarusian athletes to compete at the Paris 2024 Olympics, albeit without flags, emblems, or anthems. You might be wondering why Belarus? Well, that's because Belarus is a close ally of Russia and has supported the Kremlin in its offensive against Kiev. The sports body also announced that no Russian or Belarusian government or state officials would be invited to or accredited for the Games. So, did the IOC place these same restrictions on Israel over its atrocities in Gaza? Well, no. When Israeli strikes killed Hani al-Mastar, the coach of the Palestinian Olympic football team, on January 6, the IOC kept mum. And as Israel's illegal occupation of Palestinian territories and bombardment of the besieged enclave continues unabated, the IOC's response has been. Critics have called out the IOC for acting contrary to its charter and without a moral compass. While the IOC, FIFA, and UEFA remain silent over Israel's atrocities in Gaza, numerous teams, athletes, and sports fans have taken a stance against Israel. The Irish women's basketball team refused to shake hands with their Israeli opponents on February 8, when the two teams competed in a match for the FIBA Women's Eurobasket 2025 qualifier. An Israeli swimmer who won 2nd place at the World Aquatics Championships in Doha, Qatar on February 18 was booed in protest by the crowd in attendance. Supporters of the Palestinian cause say that these means are a non-violent way of opposing Israel's apartheid and illegal occupation, yet Tel Aviv has labeled the actions anti-Semitic. With the global boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement targeting Israeli apartheid and occupation gaining steam, analysts say it is not so much BDS tactics that offend people in certain quarters, but rather their targets. Russia can be BDS until the cows come home, but BDSing Israel is beyond the pale. As calls for action and official boycotts against Israeli teams go unanswered, does this lack of response constitute hypocrisy? Let us know in the comments.